I'm going to say very few words, and thank you for coming along this afternoon. I'm so looking forward, and I still am looking forward to the opportunity to hear your thoughts and perspectives on the outside in and your journey with the charity. And the whole intention of this was for a potential funder to get insight into the work we're doing and its importance. And to understand, in a way where it's from the horse's mouth. You speak more powerfully than I ever can about the work we're doing. So I'm always of the mind that I'd rather have people who are working with and speaking on our behalf. Because I do believe the idea of sort of, not delegation, but it's a shared responsibility of all of us. If we believe in this thing we're trying to do, I think that gives a real sense of return, because you speak well. So I'm sorry that the funder isn't here, but I'm delighted that you're still able to come and speak. And what we're intending to do is to film the presentation and to make use of those possibly for our social media or website and other places. But I hope you're all comfortable with being filmed and no one has any issues. If you do, please do say that. So thank you to Hannah and Kate so much for the work you put in organising this, and it's all a learning experience for us because we're going to have to be doing this again, telling our story in other spaces and places. So it's all of great use, so thank you. Yeah. So I'm going to think it's Tess who's first up. So Tess, I'm giving you the floor. Thank you.
Hello. Can everybody hear me? My name is Tess Springle, and I've been involved with Outside In since about 2009, so I believe it's 10 years now. And Outside In has really been a lifesaver for me. The opportunity to exhibit my work in places I never thought I would, and to be taken seriously as an artist has meant so much to me. It literally has saved my life, the ability to be taken seriously as a creative person. And I'd just like to thank Outside In massively because they literally have saved my life. So I'd like to take you through, first of all, this is what a sculpture triptych that I did in 2012, and it was actually exhibited in the main gallery of Pannant House here. And the sculpture triptych is called Mental Health, and it has three pieces. The first one at the front here is called Memories of Being Sectioned, and is actually about my experience of being locked up in a mental asylum, and my experience of that. And I kind of have like a forest of keys and wooden blocks representing the buildings with nuts on the top, because as a child I always knew of Grainingwell as the nut house where people got locked up who were very, very ill, and it always quite scared me. There was always this scary ambience about Grainingwell, and that people were actually locked up in these places, and I can always remember thinking, oh, how scary that must be. And the sculpture just behind that is a wave sign, and it's called bipolar, which is the illness that I actually have. I have type 1 bipolar, which causes me anxiety, and I have highs and lows. So sometimes I'm very manic, which gets me very poorly, or very depressed. Ideally trying to keep a level equilibrium can't always necessarily be done on a regular basis. And the sculpture behind that is called Resistance is Futile, and this sculpture has like an alarm on it, and I have fuses surrounding another fuse lying down it, and really what it was about being physically restrained while I was in Grainingwell. They actually physically restrained me because I was refusing to take medication. So it actually sets off an alarm, and even now, today I was at the QA hospital and an alarm went off, and it always sends me very much on edge because I can remember the noise, and I knew that what that meant was that people were surrounding you and putting you to the floor and injecting you. which is quite a scary sort of thing. But Outside In gave me the opportunity. This is the work in situ in the far room at the end of the gallery in there. And to have that opportunity was just absolutely amazing. I mean, in that room, they had Picasso's Weeping Woman. You know, to say that you've had a piece of artwork that's been, you know, taken seriously, in with all these amazing artists that show within this amazing gallery is just phenomenal. So that was one of the first exhibitions that I took part of. The 2009 one, I did have some work in, and it was on a slideshow. So, and I can't remember what it was now because it was such a long time ago. So, this is another sculpture that some of you may well recognise. Outside In gave me the opportunity to exhibit this at an exhibition at Sotheby's called Journeys, and it was all about the journey of Outside In, how it's taken people on these journeys to this amazing opportunity to actually exhibit within Sotheby's. It's actually called I've Lost My Marbles, and it's actually, they are ball bearings in actual fact, but I just really like the quality of the ball bearings with the wood. And then the 3 injections in the background are about being injected when I was physically restrained, and the key, quite obviously, I have in a lot of my artwork, because once you've been locked in, it's quite strange, you know, to, you know, have that thing, but you've also got the thing about also being able to be let out with the key as well. So it's got kind of like a double-edged sword, so to speak. So, yeah. This one's called Bust with 2 Objects for Company, and this one I did with some air dry clay. I loved working with clay, and I used to actually be a potter at Amberley Chalk Pits Museum years ago, and I studied at the College of Technology, and I'm able to use clay with the facility of having firing and everything, not very easy. So I tried air dry clay, and I produced these sculptures, and they were actually shown in a London exhibition somewhere. I forget the venue, I'm sorry, but yeah, it was shown in London. Another opportunity is to exhibit in London. How amazing, you know. Okay. Now this one is a close-up piece of an artwork that I did. I was lucky enough through Step Up Workshop Leaders Training to be a part of the Grainingwell Heritage Project, and this was a project that was between Outside In, the gallery, Chichester University and the Records Office. And basically what I did, I was chosen to be on the creative team, and we went as creative members. Kate was also on the project as one of the creative team. We went and we did workshops in Grainingwell, and that was quite a strange experience, because one minute I was locked in there and for months on end, and then the next minute I got the key to go in and do workshops with other people who were going through similar things that I'd been through, and it was a very beautiful thing to be able to go in and work with people who you know how they're feeling about their situation, and to go in and make them, help them do something creative is just amazing. And it was through my Step Up Workshop Leaders Training that I had the ability to go onto the wards and help with the workshops, and we helped design workshops, and we took all the artist's work and combined it together to make some pieces that hopefully will be put in place there to show the history of Grainingwell as a mental health hospital. More recently, I was involved in the Exploring Collections that Outside In do, which is another course. So I'd got my workshop leaders, and I'd heard about the fact that they were doing something at West Dean, and I was actually born in Chichester, so I was very interested to be involved with something to do with West Dean. So anyway, this is an image of some of my work that was shown at the Arts and Crafts Fair that they had, and we were able to explore the collections at West Dean. I personally chose Leonora Carrington and Edward James as a combined sort of subject matter because they were very close friends. And Leonora Carrington has had a mental breakdown and was put into an asylum in Spain. And so I felt quite close to her as an artist. And I loved surrealism anyway. Always loved Salvador Dali, but I thought, no, I'm going to go for Leonora Carrington. And what was interesting was that she also had an exhibition here when I first started to come to the gallery. There was a major exhibition here. And Stefan Van Rey, the then director, had written a whole essay on the giantess guardian of the egg, which was one of her pieces of work. So it was just like really, just all fell into place. And this happened at an amazing time for me because I'd just lost one of my ex-boyfriends from cancer, and I can't tell you, again, a lifesaver. I think had I just not had this to do and to focus on, I'd probably be in bed in a ball, you know, curled up. And because I had this opportunity, which to me was just amazing, to be able to go into the gardens and the Westdean as a place and everything, was just incredible, and it meant that it inspired creativity within me to make these works and stuff, because I loved researching it, and the people at Westdean were fantastic, the librarians and everything were really helpful to me, and again another lifesaver just at the point where I needed it. So, yeah, this piece is called Strategic Mechanism for Coping with Life. And I did this at the start of a manic session that I was going through, so I was just starting on a manic episode. And I kind of, for the first time, had actually realised I was starting to become ill, because normally I don't know. And on this occasion I sort of did, so I thought, no, what I'm going to do, instead of going off and spending loads of money, which is the normal thing that happens when you start getting manic, I'm going to focus on doing a piece of artwork. So this piece of artwork's got, if you see the golden things on the right and the left, they're dried pheasant feet. I collected some pheasant feet and dried them in the greenhouse, and then I put some gold, not proper gold leaf, but some gold leaf stuff on them. And then the centrepiece is like a heat sink from inside a computer. So it's sort of like taking the heat out of the computer, the heat of all the electrical works inside. And yeah, so that piece I actually entered into the Environments exhibition, which is just due to be coming up in London. And although it wasn't chosen, I'm actually going to have that on a film slide. So I'm looking forward to going up to London and hopefully meeting Grayson Perry, one of my favourite artists. And yeah, so I'd just like to say a really huge thank you to everyone at Outside In, because you work so hard for us, and just to let you know how important, you know, literally you are lifesavers to so many of my friends, you know, and artists who I have in common, and everybody says it, it literally is an absolute lifesaver for people. And I've got one good bit of news to tell you, that actually the other day I found out that I'm going to be able to start some permitted work. I managed to get some work with a friend of mine that has an antiques company doing antique restoration. So I'm going to be doing some permitted work, starting off part-time. And that is thanks to Outside In and helping me with my confidence to go forward with my creativity. So thank you very much.